Okay, Jedi, which book do you want to read today?
This one.
Let's read it. There once was a young lady who wanted to be a positive influence in the world. She loved children and had a passion for teaching. She decided to go to school and become a teacher. She worked so hard and finally achieved the goal of becoming an educator. Later, she found a job at a preschool and asked herself, how can I impact the world through the lives of these children? As she worked, she noticed she did certain things to influence her students and the people around her. She used dispositions to help her become an effective teacher. Her name is Mrs. Ariana Gonzalez.
Hey, that's you, Mom.
Oh, that is me. Hello, my name is Ariana Gonzalez, and the dispositions that I possess that make me a successful teacher are high expectations. I confidently think that all children can be successful. As a teacher, I try to motivate my students to reach their goals. If there's something they need to work on, I want to be there to help them plan for that goal. I have high expectations for my students, and since we are Kids at Hope School, we firmly believe, and I firmly believe in the Treasure Hunter Pledge. I say it with confidence every day during the morning announcements. Respect for diversity of others. I believe that showing others, not just your students, can help establish a relationship. I feel I express this disposition because I always show respect in and out of the classroom. I try to embrace diversity in my classroom as much as I can. Even if it's just materials or toys that I can provide for my students in centers. Fairness, this is something that I was taught in school and something that I live by. I think this is an important idea to instill in students. As an educator, I try to look at and understand both sides of the story and then go from there. I also try to teach my students this concept when they're having problems of their own. Sometimes it's out on the playground, but we practice fairness and find ways to solve problems. Professional conduct. I feel as an educator, I practice sound judgment and display ethical behavior. I try not to miss a day of school. I'm the one that shows up early for meetings, and I always interact appropriately with everyone that I encounter in the professional setting. Reflection, every time I teach, I reflect on it, and if there's something that I notice that I can improve on, I act on it right away. The same goes when I'm teaching. If my students are not comprehending, I monitor and adjust. Reflection is something that I possess and that I can always improve on. I also ask my paraprofessionals what their opinion is, and I use that to help me grow. Curiosity. Children are naturally curious, and I encourage their curiosities because it helps them to learn and be creative. One of my favorite times of the day is observing my students during centers. Higher level questions are important, even for the little ones. I have higher level questions on my wall of my classroom as a reminder to spark their curiosity. Honesty, I always try to be honest and truthful. If I want my students to be honest, I need to model honesty, which is why I do what I say. Advocacy, I'm a big advocate for education, especially early childhood education. I support the students in the community, and I try to help in coming up with ways to solve problems. The dispositions that I feel I need to work on as an educator, not that I don't have these, but these are just areas I need to grow in. Compassion, I do show warmth and care for in my profession, especially my students, but I feel like I can do more to know my students beyond academics as they go for me. This past year, I was challenged to spend more time with my students, so every day I would sit with a different student. I wish I would have done that earlier in the year because I was really getting to know my students on another level. And dedication, again, not that I don't have it, but this disposition, but it's one that I can improve on. I do not know one teacher that is not dedicated, but it is the level of dedication that can be different from teacher to teacher. I'm always punctual. I have not missed a day of work. I do participate in professional development when we are scheduled to do so, but I can do more professional development on my own time, like find workshops that benefit me and my professional that are available perhaps on the weekends. I could also be more active in a professional or educational organization or educational social network. A professional educator behaves in a professional manner, always respecting everyone in and out of the classroom. Professional educators have a professional appearance, and they use effective ways of communication. An educator seeks to follow the standards and behave in an appropriate manner. These standards drive a teacher to become a better educator. Teachers encourage and motivate students and staff and other community helpers.